People were associating me with that Duke the Jeweler situation because I went to the Boosie pool party and he happened to be there and he happened to be standing.
Boozy Badaz just sent shockwaves through the streets, officially copping a federal plea deal that, according to whispers in the underworld, might have Jay, Prince, and his infamous Dice squad staring straight down the barrel of a federal case. If even half the chatter is true, we're no longer talking about a simple weapons charge. This could blow open a secret Dice operation that's been quietly targeting rappers for years. Now, here's where it gets crazy. The same federal agents who've been poking around the murder of Duke the Jeweler and the Dice games that led up to it are reportedly circling back to every name tied to those nights, Boozy included. And with him now signing off on a deal with the feds, there's only one question echoing through the game. Is Boozy just saving his own neck, or is he about to drop names that could dismantle one of the most feared networks in hip-hop? Because if what's being whispered is even halfway real, this could mean Jay, Prince, the man long rumored to run Houston's infamous check-in system, is finally about to face the kind of pressure you don't talk your way out of. And fans? They're reading between every line, wondering if Boozy just put mob ties on the chopping block. All of this traces back to one thing: that Dice game where Duke lost his life. So let's start there. If you've been around Houston, you already know the talk. These so-called friendly dice games that somehow always end with the same people walking away with the pot. Dice have been woven into the city's underground for decades. But the games linked to Jay Prince Jr., they're a whole different beast. These aren't casual hangs in someone's living room. We're talking high-stakes gatherings, strictly invite only, with massive cash on the table and a strict check-in system ensuring the house knows every single player inside. But there's a dark twist if the streets are to be believed.
In Texas know what the play is. If you rap it, you celebrity. If you like the strip club, you like to do this, you check in with them, they bringing them bad dice on you. Why you think they Duke the Jeweler, they really couldn't get him? That's why they had, come on, homie.
The Mob Ties crew has a blueprint. Reel in rappers and big spenders, trap them in a private space, get the drinks flowing, stack the cash sky high, then let the dice roll in the house's favor. Charleston White warned folks about it too, but barely anyone listened. Insiders say the operation runs like a well-oiled machine. Mob Ties allegedly has a three-man rotation. One throws, one watches, one swaps. And those dice? They aren't fresh out the box. They're worked over, weighted, filed, rigged, so the odds always lean their way. The setup is simple. The house always wins. Jay. Prince Jr. reportedly takes a 30% cut, and everyone else walks out a little lighter. But it all unraveled the night Duke the Jeweler showed up. He wasn't new to the game. Fresh off a Boozy concert, iced out with millions, and carrying real confidence. Somehow, Duke got his hands on a set of dice that weren't meant for him. Then boom, he started hitting. Thousands turned into tens of thousands. Soon he was up six figures. It's all on tape. The vibe shifts. Smiles disappear. The air tightens. Because in a system designed for you to lose, winning that much, that's not good luck. It's a problem. Minutes later, Duke's headed to his car. No entourage, no security, just him. Gunshots. And just like that, he's gone. But here's what changed everything. His jewelry was still on him, his cash untouched. This wasn't a robbery. It was about power. And Duke disrupted it. Duke the Jeweler wasn't some unknown. He was a respected figure in Chicago with a list of celebrity clients. Custom pieces worth millions. He was trusted, respected, and invited by Boozy himself, strictly for business. Or so he thought. We already know Duke was ambushed walking to his car. But what raised federal eyebrows was the fact that every piece of his jewelry was still on him. Even his Louis Vuitton bag, stuffed with over $1 million in custom work, never left the scene. That bag? It ended up at Boozy's house. Boozy claims Duke asked him to hold it during the game, and it just stayed there after shooting. But the story is not that clean. Duke's phone went dark shortly after pinging near Boozy's studio. Investigators say they have surveillance, text messages, and witnesses placing Boozy's circle at the center of Duke's final hours. And then it gets deeper. The feds are looking hard at Boozy's nephew as a potential shooter. Instead of tying this to Boozy's other cases, they open a new, standalone federal murder probe. That means full focus and real pressure. And that Lewis bag? It might be the reason Boozy's name is sitting in an FBI file. Now here's where the heat turns up. Why do people think Boozy's plea isn't just about that 2023 gun charge? Because prosecutors didn't bundle the Duke case with Boozy's other charges. They split it off. That's a classic Fed strategy. Keep the pressure isolated. Use one case to apply leverage on another. And Duke's murder presents serious problems. The phone pinging near Boozy's studio before going silent? That's a red flag. Then there's a physical trail. Prince and Duke's rental car linked to Boozy's people. Add in witness accounts. And it's no surprise agents are circling. But here's the part Boozy can't control. Rumors that people in his own camp are already talking. All it takes is 1 weak link. One person cracking under pressure. Then stories start shifting. Alibis break. And the quickest way out? Give the feds what they want. So if you're Boozy, facing federal time, a murder probe, and whispers that your team's folding, you might start thinking about survival. And there are only two names big enough to flip on, J. Prince Jr. or his father, J. Prince. Now pause on that. Two of the most infamous dice games under J. Prince Jr., S name ended in bloodshed. Duke the jeweler, dead hours after leaving one. Takeoff, gunned down just outside another. Different nights, different cases, same story. Big cash, big names, bullets before dawn. The industry is talking, too. Whack 100 has straight up accused J. Prince Jr. of setting high-profile artists up in games they can't win, unless the house lets them. Charleston White, he called these events straight traps. Loaded dice, rigged outcomes, where one lucky roll could turn you into a marked man. What you see is a game. What it really is, an empire built on control. And now the risk is this. If Boozy starts cooperating, naming names from the inside, the check-in culture that's ruled Houston could implode overnight. And once you question the check-in code, you have to ask, what's been happening behind the scenes? Because it's not just the streets taking notice. Word is, ours are already pulling out of Houston events, quietly backing off from anything mob ties might be tied to. Officially, J. Prince Sr. denies there's any check-in rule. But insiders say the pressure is still there, just more low-key now. Enforced quietly through Junior S. Crew, and after two high-profile deaths linked to dice nights, even the boldest rappers are second-guessing whether showing up is worth it. The fear? It's not just catching a stray bullet. It's getting pulled into the politics. Veteran artists have been warning the younger generation for months. Stay clear of Houston's dice circuit. Because once you're in, it's never just about winning or losing. It's about who you stand next to when things go left. Take Finesse 2 times. For instance, he was once aligned with J. Prince Jr., then aired their issues publicly, claimed he got shorted on money, hinted at beef behind the scenes. Then came baby mama rumors. Real or not, it fed the story that Junior S losing allies and fast. And artists aren't the only ones watching. Labels are paying attention. With all this drama tied to dice games, violence, and potential indictments, execs are quietly warning their talent to stay away. One messy headline could ruin a rollout. No brand wants to be linked to something that could go criminal on Instagram Live. Which is why, if Boozy really starts talking, this won't just shake Houston. It could send tremors through the entire industry. But let's keep the focus on mob ties. Up until now, the talk has mostly lived online in rumors and podcasts. But behind the curtain, the feds may be building something massive, one that could link directly to Houston PD. Recent federal takedowns in Houston have already gutted entire drug crews and street gangs. Agencies like the FBI, DEA, ATF, and IC are working together with help from local cops. And those operations? They weren't about catching corner boys. They were built to dismantle from the top down shooters, lieutenants, money movers, bosses. That same strategy could be the play if mob ties is in the crosshairs. Word on the ground is sealed indictments are already floating, ready to become arrests overnight. And with HBD's criminal intelligence working closely with federal units, every favor, every hidden call, every backdoor deal could be under a spotlight. And all it may take to blow it wide open is one concrete piece of evidence, like a video from one of those dice nights. If footage surfaces showing who was there, who handled the money, who called the plays, that's no longer hearsay. That's case closing evidence. And that's why Boozy's situation just got deadly serious. If he really is cooperating, he might get protection in exchange for details. But in the streets, that kind of protection can come with a price. Once word hits that you're helping the other side, you're not a rumor anymore. You're a target. And people stop whispering your name. They start aiming it.